Alright, so now let's continue getting some basic vocabulary ready for section 2.2a, and we're going to be graphing trig functions. But there are 4 sort of vocab words that you need to know before we can begin. So you need to know what a midline is. And, oh goodness, I don't have my notes right in front of me. Give me one. Okay, so let's talk about midline. Midline is the horizontal line exactly between, and I have no graph to tell you what it's exactly between. So let's just graph y equals to sine theta real quick. We'll start at 0, 0. So notice I go up, come back down, go down to this line at the very bottom, and I come back. And then it is going to continue. Okay. So the horizontal line is the line exactly between the maximum and the minimum values. So that's this line right here. When you do your Delta Math homework, it's going to ask you to write the equation of the midline. So they don't want just 0. They want our equation, which is y is equal to 0, because that's this like solid whole line right there. Okay? Now it seems really easy to see it right now, and like obviously I can say like, hey, if this is 1 and this is -1, this must be 0. But what if the numbers get a lot bigger? Well, if they get a lot bigger, you are going to use the maximum value minus the minimum value divided by 2. It's sort of like the distance formula that you guys learned in geometry, right? But you guys did like 1/2 of something minus something, okay? The next vocab word that we need to know is amplitude. And this is the amplitude right here. A for amplitude. The amplitude is the distance between, oh, I should say from, sorry, not between. Distance from the midline to the maximum or the minimum. So it could be the value above, or it could be this value here. Now, because this is a distance, it is always positive. Okay. And our formula for this is max plus minimum divided by 2. Am I doing this right? Hold up. Pause for a second. Sorry guys, I failed with my signs. Can I do a quick fix? Max plus min divided by 2, because the midpoint formula is adding. I'm so sorry. And then this one will be max minus minimum. Okay, because the number is going to get smaller, right? So I'm going to take this number, subtract this one, and then divide it by 2 to get that. Sorry about that. You also need this to be like a absolute value. Okay. Let's write that in. Absolute value. Okay. Period. The period is a horizontal length or distance, but it's a horizontal length of 1 cycle. And 1 cycle, it means that we start from the beginning to the end, right? So if we have like cycles of the moon is like gone, right? There's a new moon, it gets full, and then it gets smaller, and then comes back, and it's at 0 again. So this is your 1 period from beginning to the end, and notice here it starts to repeat itself again, right? So once it starts to repeat itself in the same direction, that period is over. Okay? So that one we're going to like look at the graph. Now this last thing we have to talk about is distance between critical points. And our critical points are the points that are nice and easy to see, right? So you see how like these are on 0, 0, 1 in the like whatever it is in the amplitude. And so how far are these points? In every single periodic function, there are going to be, well, for these ones, sine and cosine, there are going to be 4 pieces in our function, right? It's going to go up, come back down, go down further, and come back. And so there are 4 pieces within a period. So we're going to take period divided by 4 to get our distance between the critical points. And these 4 values on the x-axis are the numbers that we're going to want to label eventually on our graphs, so that we don't need to worry about the points in between anymore, but we know these main points of like midline, max line, midline, minimum, and midline. Okay. So at this point, what you're going to do is go to your Delta Math and complete that assignment.